Welcome to The Explainer. Right now, we are all living through a massive global AI boom, right? You see it in the headlines literally every single day. Smarter algorithms, new models, crazy generative capabilities. But behind the magic of all that software is a massive physical reality that is absolutely dictating who wins and who loses in this new economy. So today, we're going to unpack a major development between Firmus Technologies and Nvidia that perfectly illustrates the real race happening behind the scenes. So I want you to really think about this for a second. If you're an emerging AI company trying to deploy an advanced app at scale, what is the single biggest barrier standing in your way right now? Is it hiring the right developers? Is it writing the perfect code? Or maybe finding the right training data? While those are all super important, the actual answer might surprise you, because the real limitation isn't virtual at all. The absolute biggest barrier is access to scalable graphics processing units, GPUs, and the infrastructure to house them. We're talking about raw computing hardware here. You could literally write the most brilliant, groundbreaking AI algorithm in the world, but if you don't have the immense physical computing power required to train and deploy it, well, your software is basically just a great idea stuck on a whiteboard. Section 1. The AI hardware bottleneck. The challenge of scalable capacity. Here's the situation. While the demand for AI is absolutely skyrocketing globally, the physical servers and specialized computing chips required to run it are incredibly scarce, and they are prohibitively expensive. It's a massive supply and demand problem, but on a highly technical scale. We are seeing such rapid deployment of these technologies worldwide that it has created a critical shortage and reliable GPU capacity. Having access to this computing power is no longer just an IT checkbox, it's a strict, strategic competitive advantage. And just notice the distinct sectors driving this insatiable demand. Organizations across all kinds of industries are heavily deploying generative AI, integrating machine learning, and rolling out autonomous systems. The world is trying to compute at a scale we've literally never seen before, and they all need the exact same limited pool of high-performance hardware to pull it off. Section 2. The Firmus Nvidia Catalyst, an Australian deal with global implications. So just within the past 32 hours, the AI infrastructure sector got a massive jolt. Australia's Firmus Technologies officially announced a highly strategic partnership with the absolute giant of AI chips, Nvidia. Now, when we say AI infrastructure in this context, we aren't just talking about average server racks in a cold room. We're talking about shared physical hardware, advanced computing platforms, and that crucial, scalable GPU capacity required to actually train sophisticated models. It's highly specialized, shared resources. And this deal beautifully illustrates the evolution of Firmus Technologies itself. Under this partnership, Firmus is completely transforming. They are moving away from just competing as a traditional data center operator. Instead, by deploying these NVIDIA-powered platforms, they are positioning themselves as a strategic AI infrastructure provider, totally capable of supporting the next generation of AI businesses. Section 3. Lowering the barrier. The commercial mechanics of shared computing. How does this partnership actually change the game financially and logistically for business trying to get into the AI space? Well, notice the stark contrast here. Under the traditional model, if you wanted to build serious AI, you were looking at massive, heavy hardware investments, huge capital expenditure, or CapEx, just to get your foot in the door. It was an enormous financial barrier, but the Firmus shared model flips that entirely. It offers scalable resources and a much lower operational cost. You just don't have to invest millions in your own hardware anymore. So, the real takeaway here is the direct commercial impact for the customer. By offering this shared infrastructure, you dramatically reduce that initial capital expenditure. You allow customers to scale up their computing resources smoothly, right on demand as they grow. And honestly, perhaps the biggest advantage? It accelerates deployment timelines. Businesses can launch their AI systems way faster because they aren't forced to build dedicated computing environments from scratch. And who is this actually for? It's definitely not just for the mega corporations. This agreement enables scrappy startups, academic research organizations, and massive enterprise customers to all tap into advanced computing resources. It's a win-win because it also reinforces NVIDIA's strategy of expanding its own ecosystem, delivering computing capacity to a much broader range of commercial customers through these specific partners. Section 4. The global infrastructure shift. The new competitive advantage. Now, if we zoom out from this specific Australian partnership, we start to see a macro-level shift happening across the entire globe. Tech reporter Ethan Park over at Billionaire perfectly encapsulated this. He notes that this partnership reflects, quote, a broader industry shift from simply developing AI models to building the infrastructure required to deploy AI at commercial scale. This is exactly like the historic gold rush. The initial frenzy was all about the gold, the AI models themselves. But now, the smart money and the serious industry focus have moved to the picks and shovels, the underlying scalable infrastructure. Because of this, bringing together infrastructure providers like Firmus and AI chip manufacturers like Nvidia into strategic alliances is no longer just a nice-to-have. It is becoming absolutely essential for survival. Businesses are desperate for faster deployment of AI systems, and these infrastructure alliances are pretty much the only way to deliver that speed and scale efficiently. Section 5. Empowering emerging markets, bridging the technology gap. So what does this shared, accessible model mean on a global scale? As AI deployment accelerates everywhere, it's hitting crucial local enterprise sectors really hard. Finance, healthcare, manufacturing, public services. These aren't just tech companies, right? These are the pillars of everyday society, and they are all increasingly relying on scalable GPU capacity. Access to this computing power is rapidly becoming the ultimate determinant of competitiveness for these sectors all around the world. And this is exactly where regional providers become absolute game changers. For emerging markets, including regions like Africa, this announcement highlights a massive opportunity. Regional AI infrastructure providers are stepping up to bridge the gap between global technology platforms and local enterprise adoption. By lowering the barrier to entry through shared infrastructure, regions that might have been completely priced out of the traditional hardware model can now access advanced computing and actually compete on the global stage. So as we wrap up the explainer today, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We know the AI revolution is here, for sure, and we know that scalable physical hardware is the true bottleneck. So, as AI deployment accelerates globally, who will ultimately control the infrastructure that powers the whole shebang? Will it be centralized among a few massive global giants, or will regional partnerships like Firmus and Nvidia successfully democratize access and bridge the gap for emerging markets? The race for AI isn't just in the code, folks. It's in the concrete, the servers, and the chips. Thank you so much for joining me, and definitely keep your eye on the infrastructure.